Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into this show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. So on the docket for today, we have lawmakers going back after Visa and MasterCard and their swipe fees. We have Capital One making a new acquisition of their own concierge service. We also have two lounge networks kissing and making up, and we have all the details on the Chase Freedom rise thanks to the good doctor. So, of course, we will cover it all for you right here, so go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, we will lead off with a story that keeps coming up periodically, and that is the war on interchange or swipe fees. So, the long story short of it, for a while now, retailers, so stores, merchants, have really pushed back on the payment networks, specifically Visa and MasterCard, but also American Express and Discover are also payment networks because they want more flexibility in being able to choose their payment processor. Right now, a Visa card has to be processed through the Visa payment network. It cannot be processed through MasterCard or American Express, and the same with the other four, right? Makes a lot of sense. Well, because of this, the retailers say, hey, this is, price prohibitive. There is no real competition and we don't have the power of choice. So lawmakers, I think last year had tried to bring a bill forward that would allow for flexibility and the retailer basically be able to choose which payment network they use based on the prices that the network were running, presumably. So this bill is back again. There's no real difference in the bill except the Wall Street Journal is reporting that it does have two new backers, one lawmaker on each side. It's paywalled, so I didn't get the names, but we know who they were anyways. So one lawmaker on each side, a Republican and Democrat, are now backing this. So we'll see if it gets any more traction. This is just one of those things that ends up puts us in a weird spot because we already assume that things are a little bit more expensive because someone has to pay for the interchange fees. But the interchange fees are also what you largely pays for the credit card rewards. Interest payments do as well. But, so it kind of puts you in the middle. I would still lean towards keeping it because even if they got rid of interchange fees, I don't think they're going to be like, oh, we're just going to make everything 3% less expensive now. We're lowered the fees. Like, if they lower them or get the optionality, I don't think this will help us at all. So you might as well just keep it. And also, I never really know if it's a good idea to have, come in and tell companies how they should run things. It makes sense if I'm Visa and I built the Visa network. Why would I want you to be able to run my card through something else and vice versa? They would really need someone to step in and build out almost an agnostic payment network. Because I would imagine Visa and MasterCard would not document this, but they'd have like a gentleman's agreement with her, like, well, I'm not going to lower the price and you're not going to lower the price. It arguably doesn't matter, right? So they need someone else to step in and kind of do this, which someone probably would, but I don't know if this, even getting this bill passed would do what folks think it does. Granted, overseas, interchange fees are capped, and as a result, their credit card programs are like nothing, right? 1%, 2% is like the maximum that you get over there. So I don't necessarily think it'll be the end of the rewards program. There's too much money in credit cards for banks, but I also do think, banks are very powerful, payment networks are very powerful, so there's enough opposition pushing against this that it probably won't happen, but let me know your thoughts down below, and we'll continue to keep an eye on it every single time this comes up. Now, talking to someone trying to get more powerful is Capital One. So Capital One is in the news because they are making an acquisition of like a digital concierge service that we're going to take a look at in a second. But if you're unfamiliar, it's, concierges are kind of come along with these higher tier cards, the Amex Platinum, and then even the Centurion card have, their concierge. I think Chase kind of sort of has one as well, but Amex is usually known as the standard for concierge. At least they market it the most. I haven't used it. There's a classic Reddit thread on, what the concierge would do for people. But anyways, we don't have a ton of details on this, but Capital One has acquired a concierge service, a digital concierge service called Velocity Black. That's quite a name. I do like the name. Like, you can never guess why. But we don't know the details of like how much they paid or anything. But the quotes here of this acquisition brings together two companies focused on finding new ways to solve common consumer pain points. Velocity Black's innovative technology will bolster Capital One's delivery of exceptional experiences for consumers. Capital One and Velocity Black are committed to innovating on behalf of the customer, and both have raised the bar in their sectors. It goes on and on and on. I mean, no one ever writes these things and says, meh, it might be fine. So overall, nice to see. Again, I don't know much about this service. We'll have to see how it goes. I would imagine this will either be partially a tie-in to the Capital One travel portal, or even more so focused on the venture line, definitely the personal Venture X and the business Venture X. Maybe you extend a phone number or something down to the the regular venture, but a lot of times you can call in and can they help me get tickets or help me with bookings and things. I mean, it still costs money, but it's kind of someone there who can help you. Overall, I mean, I think, again, I've never used these, but a lot of this stuff seems like stuff you can probably do yourself now, but I understand it can come in handy on occasion. So if you ever use the concierge from one of these credit card companies, definitely let us know down below what your experiences are, what you asked them to do, and how it went for you. I'd love to hear some of your stories. So with that, Capital One getting bigger, we now go to a lounge network getting even bigger, or regaining its size, if you will. So if you remember, I think it was maybe 2 years ago, Priority Pass, which is the main lounge network, broke up with Plaza Premium. So it's a little bit different of a model. How Priority Pass, you can go and buy a membership to Priority Pass, which no one ever does because the credit cards make it way more affordable to get a credit card than pay the ridiculous fee to get a Priority Pass membership. Because the memberships, generally, you buy the membership and then 2 of the tiers you still have to pay for lounge access. It's priced that way on purpose, obviously, but all that to say, no one's really buying memberships from there. They have their own revenue streams from credit cards. So we assume Plaza Premium broke off with them because they wanted to try to find their own revenue sources, whatever that may be. But generally, Plaza Premium, I believe they kind of support airlines, right? So if you're flying a certain ticket with an airline, you can get access to the Plaza Premium. They have some partnerships with credit cards. I think actually Capital One can get you in, and we've seen them partner some of their lounges, with networks here and there. Well, long story short, they have made up. Plaza Premium has rejoined Priority Pass. They didn't necessarily give any details as to why. So 63 total Plaza Premium lounges rejoining, 39 rejoined earlier this week, and the remaining 24 will be available as of June 20th. So they have the full press release that you can take a look at that shows you where all the lounges are. So, I mean, overall, I would say that's net good. It expands the access that you have with Priority Pass that many people have for all the cards. As why they decided to do this, I'm going to guess whatever plans they had, they were going to try to make a run at, didn't really pan out. So they said, hey, let's just go back. And, there's no shame in that. You have an idea, you try it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Why not just come back? No harm done. So overall, I think that's a pretty good deal. Now, the highlight of the week, or the last few weeks, I guess, is the Chase Freedom Rise. So the previous news show, we had at least a launch date for it, or we had figured out that in the Chase Investor deck, it was going to be definitely a credit builder card of sorts. Well, now, the good doctor of credit and his sources have provided him with all of the details, so we're going to shamelessly steal it and go over here. So these are basically, I think these are the materials that go to the branch, and then someone just sends them in to him. So let's go through it now and break down what the Freedom Rise is going to be to take us home. So on screen here you have it. Again, the card art looks, it's graphics in black and white, but it looks pretty similar to what you would expect. So no annual fee card. Multipliers is going to be a 1.5x on all purchases. So, steals the top perk of the Freedom Unlimited. The details, though, available June 11th. So actually the other day, if you're watching this live. Welcome offer here. You can receive $25 after enrolling in e-statements within your first 3 months. This will actually replace the Chase Freedom Student Card. So I understand the Chase Freedom Slate, or the Chase Slate, will still be around, or Slate Edge will still be around. Student card will be going away. Now, interesting enough, opening a Chase checking account that has at least a $250 balance at the time of application will help. Well, you're supposed to open the account at least 2 days before and have the balance in there, probably give the system time to process and everything. But if you were to open a Chase checking account, have a balance of $250, that will help you. It doesn't mean you're going to, get it for sure, but it helps. Obviously, that is not, they can't make it, well, they could make it a requirement, I suppose, but it is not a requirement. If it was, that'd be more of a secured card than anything else. Card holders could be evaluated for credit limit increases as soon as 6 months of having the card, and the product, of course, is targeted at as a credit builder product, not a credit repair product. So this is replacing the student card, so it kind of serves a dual purpose. If you were a student, you could take a run at this. If you were someone who were just later in the game, just getting around to credit, this could also serve your needs as well. The multiplier is better. So it does make this an easy recommend for a student because it's earning ultimate reward points. There are still other options out there. I still think Capital One, the Saver or Student is pretty good. Would I go this over the Quicksilver? Yes, because there's more functionality with this probably in earning ultimate reward points early on in your career. Bank of America has their 3-2-1 card for students as well. So if you're a student or someone's building credit, there are still options out there to get someone started on just, here's one category. It's probably easier, but again, you kind of just look around and see what's best for you. Now, you probably could have just left a Freedom Student and added this one, but it'd be like one in the same product. So I guess, from a operational support side, there's not really a reason to support two of basically the same product. Just one looks different. One would aim at credit building. The other would be aimed at students. The other option, I guess, would have been to kept the student card, make it 1.5, and have this card, the Freedom Rise, have an option of secured card as well, because you can see Chase is still staying away from the credit repair space. So they're still coming, adjusting their market target a little bit for sides that they've historically ignored, in my opinion, but you also could have gone that route as well if you wanted to. But overall, I think this card is fine for someone just getting started in the game. People here would waste a 524 slot for $25. God, no, don't do it. I don't even know if you get approved, honestly, if you have too good of credit for this, but either way, that is the Freedom Rise. So everyone who's asked me, should you hold tight until we see what it is before you make your next move and go out of 524? Well, we now officially know what it is. And it's unfortunate it's not for us, but that's okay. Everything can't be for us, so I do think this is a good card to recommend. It's still graduation season, so someone in your life graduating. I would have no problem recommending this. Don't have them sign up for a Chase bank account outright. Definitely go over to profitablecontent.com and find a Chase bank account promotional offer that they can sign up for and get them started in this game of credit and finance right. That is the best gift you can give a young graduate. Instead of just shoving an envelope in a box at a grad party, pull them aside and tell them how to make their own money. I'm sure you will be just the talk of the party. Now you see why we're sitting inside on a Sunday and not at a grad party myself. Anyways, guys, that has been the news for this week. So, of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. Of course, we're posting content just like this every single week. Of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance, and every single day over on profitablecontent.com, where we have the latest news stories, bank account bonus, and credit card offers. Go ahead and check that out to stay up to date all week long until we get to Sunday. Anyways, guys, let me know what else you've seen going on in the news, your thoughts about this. Are you excited about the lounges, the concierge service? Are you going to recommend the Freedom Unlimited to a young student in your life? Love to get your thoughts, all that, and the rest of it down below. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. So thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon this week.